Well, good morning, McFly subscribers. So, I am out in Dolores. You guys remember, there's a few little lakes that are out here. A while back, I caught a monster brown on these lakes. I'm gonna be doing a little camping tonight. Actually, it's not really camping. We're staying in a little cabin down the way at a campground, but Jeff is with me. He's actually already fishing. So we're starting off here just so we don't have to get our waders on. We're waiting until the campground opens so we can get in and check in. We got here kind of early. So we're gonna fish here for an hour or two, then go in, check in, maybe grab a bite to eat. And then we're gonna fish the upper Dolores for a little while. And try this lake again. It looks like there's some trout rising, so I'm gonna start with some dry fly. I've got a stimulator on the front and I've got an RS2 on the back. Hopefully it's a small stimulator, should mimic some caddis that I think are here. So we'll see. Let's get out there and catch some fish. So like I said, I did start with the dry fly. And right here I actually had a take, but I missed the fish. However, I wasn't filming when the fish broke the surface after my stimulator. But pretty quick into the day, Jeff hooked into a fish. Now he was streamer fishing with a small woolly bugger type fly. Not a bad little stocked rainbow. So I saw this pipe where the water was dumping in, and I figured it would be a great place for fish to hang out. And sure enough, I was right. I got this nice rainbow to bite. Now keep in mind guys, I'm using a fiberglass 4-weight rod. This is why I'm playing the fish a little more than normal. He wasn't huge, but I could not horse him in. Not a bad fish though, probably around 15 to 16 inches. And then Jeff comes over and hooks up close to where I was fishing. After that hookup, I decided to walk to one of the other ponds, and I saw this sunken beaver dam, which I thought would be a great spot for trout to hang out. And I was right again. A nice take on the stimulator. Quick release. Then I walked just a short distance to the same spot I caught that large brown last year, and right away I had to take on the top. And another take on the top. and a third take. And then Jeff comes over with his streamer and gets a few fish. And that had to be one of the prettiest rainbows I'd seen. It had spots on its belly. And then Jeff slips trying to net this fish, which brings me back to that time I slipped and broke my sage rod at this exact same spot. Well, all these fish were caught before 11 a.m., and we decided to go back and check into the campground, and even grab some lunch. Just a simple little place, but it's nice. I mean, really, for the money, what more do you need?
Oops. Did you get that on camera?
Well, after grabbing lunch, Jeff relieved himself. We went out to fish the Dolores River. We went out for some trout, but realized that salmon were there so thick that we couldn't get to the trout. And Jeff there with a really nice female Kokanee salmon. Jeff with another salmon, which he was getting on a streamer. Now I was nymphing, but I decided to switch to a streamer shortly after seeing Jeff with those two salmon. Of course, it was really hard to get this fly out with this 4-weight fiberglass rod, but that didn't stop me from hooking into a few. Well, that one was foul hooked, but that's because there were so many fish down there. After a salmon bites and you set the hook, you're bound to snag one. But this is how quick we were getting them. It seemed like every other cast. The male all have that hook jaw going on, with some gnarly teeth. Well, we had a really good idea, and that was to put the camera down in the water to see exactly what was going on under there. So Jeff waded out close to them and tried to film them. While he couldn't get close enough for some really detailed filming, you could see just how thick they were. Right about now. Then I cast it out to see if I could get a hook set on film. Unfortunately, it wasn't as close as I thought it was, but still pretty cool seeing the fish flee underwater. You can see here just how much bend these salmon were putting into my 4-weight rod. Man, we were in them thick, and they were biting the fly, as some were hooked perfectly in the mouth. However, with them so thick down there, we were bound to snag a few, but this was not our intention. We were catching them one after another though, almost every cast, but I was having trouble with this rod getting a large streamer out, so I made the short walk back to the cabin to grab my 5-weight graphite rod, and came back to fish for these salmon a little more. While I probably could have caught 100 more this evening, I decided I had my fill of easy salmon fishing and decided to go on the hunt for some trout. But after both Jeff and I fished for about 3 hours, only this one brown was netted. It was a beauty though. Well, back to the cabin it is, to get some rest for fishing the next day. Next time on McFly Angler, we go much further upriver and search for some trout. But we stumble on some wildlife. However, we were able to find some trout, and quite a few of them as well, both rainbows and browns. So check back next week for the finale of our Dolores River, Colorado trip. Well, thanks for watching. If you like this sort of thing, please subscribe and share with all your fish-loving friends. Also, do me a favor and hit that like button. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.